Welcome back to your mom's favorite podcast. Today's episode, we have a lot to cover, so let's jump right in. Vincel, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. A little bit tired. It was a hectic day at work. I'm kidding, it wasn't. It was nice and relaxed. Got everything under wraps, got everything I needed to do done. But yeah, I'm
Okay,
still
but
tired because I have a
don't
baby.
tell anyone that. Don't tell anyone. Make sure you say no. It was hectic.
No, it was truly devastating. I'm shattered.
Yeah. Today I watched a full series on Netflix. Tough day. Yeah.
Was it any good?
No, I was only joking. I
Oh.
actually did work today. Sometimes on Fridays I'm like you can't see it in the camera, but there's a TV right here. So I put Netflix on there and I pretend to be working, but this is how I'm working. Benefits of working from home. Yeah, so it's been a week since we last chatted. Anything interesting happen in the weekend, the Friday,
um,
Thursday?
no, nothing that interesting. I didn't even get vomited on. I didn't have any like explosive nappies. So it was actually quite a chilled weekend, I gotta say. It was actually,
Oh,
yeah,
that's good.
chilled for once.
Yeah, once you get
How
two,
about you?
you start praying for those weekends.
Yeah, you lagged out, sorry.
Did I? I said once you get two, you start praying for those weekends.
Yeah, I'll cross that bridge when I get there. Let's stick with one for now.
Yeah. I had a pretty interesting weekend. Justine and I went to Dublin,
Yes, you
which
did
was
mention that last week that you were going to do it. How was that?
it was a I don't know the right terminology, but it was a bit of a culture shock because so we've definitely been out before. Like I've been out to Dublin before, but with work colleagues, and the work colleagues know Dublin, so they say go here, and then we're going to go to this other place. So when you're following people around, you don't really get to experience outside of that bubble, outside of the good experience. Like if we were to go around Durban, we would know all the hotspots and we would take people to those spots. So
And we'd
the
avoid certain streets.
exactly. Now, what happened with us is because we had pretty much the whole of Saturday there. During the day, it was one of the hottest days of the year. So we were walking around Dublin and it was boiling, and there was so many people because the heat, if there's heat, there's people. So it was just packed. So many Americans. Like I've never seen so many Americans in my life. And I knew they were American because I could hear them before I saw them. But then we went back to the hotel and got ready, and then we went out again when the sun was going down a little bit. We went to the Leprechaun Museum, but it was the over 18 exhibit. So it was uh, they tell dark stories and folklore that is PG. Rated
Okay.
R. Yeah,
Okay.
it was definitely an experience. The guy who was running the thing, 10 out of 10 for him. He he acted out the stories. He told the stories very well. He kept you involved. Some people didn't seem like they were too interested. Some of the stories got a little bit strange, to say the least. But he was really good, and it wasn't expensive at all. So we went through that. I bought some gold coins on my way out. Stereotypical pot of gold. But then we went. We were going to go for like a fancy dinner, but it was so packed. We just went to Five Guys, and then we went out on the town. Um, yes, ask your question. I can see you have a question.
There's 5 guys in Ireland?
Yes, in Dublin. Yeah.
What? That is mind blowing. I had 5 guys when I was in America doing my summer camp shenanigans. And I don't know if it's comparable, but I thought it was quite interesting. Is it a similar idea with the menu where you get like your basic burger and then you just get a list
You
of
add to it,
tick it
yeah.
off everything you want?
That
Okay,
was
no,
definitely
that's
interesting. So we got to do that. Um, what I, it was strange though because obviously it was my first time at Five Guys, so I walked in not knowing what to do. We just walked past and we're like, let's go here. Heard their milkshakes are great. So we went in. We got burgers and we had to obviously add all the toppings and whatever. And then I was like, okay, well, can I get a. I was like, let's get a large fries to share. And then Justine said, no, she doesn't want. So I was like, okay, just make it a regular. And then when it came in the brown bag with the fries, and then they just
yeah.
fill the bag with fries.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I don't know if it was what they used as the sizing, but when with my experience of Five Guys in America, same idea, brown bag, not branded, nothing.
Mm.
And then in the bag is obviously the burger wrapped up nicely. And then there was a cup of sorts, like
Polystyrene
a
cup,
chip
yeah.
polystyrene cup with a bit of tin foil.
Yeah.
It had chips in it, and then there were just more chips in the bag itself. I was like, just a whole bag of chips. So was it a similar?
Yeah. Yes, it was. I felt terrible because I had to throw away all the chips because if I had known, I would have got a small. I got just got a bag full. I was like, and I got a big burger as well. It wasn't like I was holding back on the burgers. So I was very full after that. But then we went out. So like there are clubs. I know when for our age, going out is going to a club. People, Gen Z don't do that anymore. They would rather go to a pub, and then they'll like the way that it's structured. Okay, there's some roads in Dublin, like in the center of Dublin. There's it's called Grafton Street, and then there's Drury Street, which comes off of that, and they are streets, but you can't drive on them, so they're closed off. So it's essentially just like a public walkway.
Oh,
So
okay.
what people do is, oh, and it's just lined with pubs. So what people do is they go to the pubs, and they when there's not enough space in the pubs anymore, they get their drinks and they sit on the road. So we come around the corner and it's just
Okay.
packed with people on the road. Like there's just hundreds of people sitting. You had to walk around them like if you were in the middle of a festival, except it's on a street and people are drinking from the pub, maybe uh, three stores down that they happen to pick up a drink at, and then they walk to see their friends or they found a spot.
Oh,
So
so no.
really weird. We carried on walking and we saw like what looked like a protest that was happening on top of a bunch of stairs. And we are like, oh, what's going on there? And it was people that were eccentric or what we might call hippies. um, they were definitely dressed like it and they looked like they were protesting. And when I got closer, I saw their signs. Their signs said free beer and they had two crates stacked with cans of beers and they were just giving them out
That
for
were just
free.
there. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Did you grab one?
Yeah. No, no, no. I didn't know
Oh.
if I could trust. But yeah, it was
It's a
such a
free
weird
beer,
experience. Like,
but
everyone was just sitting in the yeah, everyone was just sitting in the street. Um, like there was
is that
I did find out though when I got back to the hotel that night is that they had a over 30s event, which is a club that you have to book for it, but it opens at 5 and it closes at 9. Isn't that's great? So you get to go to a club and then you're home by 10 o'clock.
I mean, the missus would be happy, but
Yeah. So maybe we'll look into that maybe sometime in the future. But yeah, so that was it was a pretty good evening. I mean, we stayed out late, but not too late, and then we had breakfast at the hotel in the morning. The hotel was packed with Americans as well. A lot older Americans. I think they were doing like a tour of Ireland or
it's about
something.
a busload.
Yeah. Um, and then yeah, and then we came back and that's what happened on my weekend. I managed to experience Dublin. It was very
And the
busy.
and the more it's quite interesting. I mean, do they not police the public drinking, or is that just kind of a accepted norm, or at least from what you saw? Sounds like it was.
Um, the pubs would give them like uh, plastic cups. So yeah, so like the only thing that they wouldn't do that for is like a Guinness, and I think you have to serve a Guinness in a Guinness glass in Dublin. Um, so that's the only time that I think that they wouldn't. But everyone else had like what looked to be hard plastic cups that they had their drinks in, or cans. Um, yeah, it was a crazy experience.
It sounds like a lot of fun though. Definitely a bit more interesting
Yeah.
than what my weekend was. My weekend was just, well, I didn't buy the bed, but we went bed shopping and we moved a bunch of my in-laws' stuff into our flat. But yeah, that's about it. Nothing really, nothing special.
But now we got someone to edit our podcast, so
This is news.
just claim. That's your payment for me helping you move.
I mean, actually, might as well pay rent by
Yeah.
editing.
You'll be happy to know that we got our first comment this week. It was on our
Oh,
it was on our last episode.
I'm gonna go look at it right
And
now. Don't tell me what it
yeah,
is. I need a
I won't tell you
surprise
what it is.
react.
I already replied to it because I saw it.
Okay, so then that's fine. You can know, but I don't know. So I'm gonna. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, I've got it. Okay, it's playing. Stop playing.
Hey, I thought it was a pretty good episode. I listened to it on the way to Dublin.
Oh, wow. That was a. Tough times out here, boys. Tough times, boys and girls.
Yo, is that our first hate comment as well?
This is already how like.
That
No, we're
must
doing
mean we're
something
doing
right,
something.
eh? 2 videos
Uh,
anyway. We somehow got
yeah,
someone to comment. The algorithm, it's working.
algorithm's working. Yeah. So they commented 0 views, which makes no sense because they would have seen it, which would have been a view. So it couldn't have been 0. But I replied and 1 comment. So that's pretty good statistics, if you ask me. Um,
A solid
speaking of
16,000 views.
yeah, speaking of stats, um, topic agenda number 1 for today. I was uh, going about my day over the weekend and thinking about the old times, living in my good days. What was your experience with the under 13 KZN uh, international cricket? What is it? RPT. What's that? Interprovincial tournament.
Interprovincial tournament, yeah.
We played in under 13 in the same team. The year that we won our first gold medal for
That
KZN.
was Springs.
It was Springs, yes.
That was Springs. Because the actual first one was Cape Town.
What do you
We
mean?
didn't win, but we went to Cape Town.
Oh no. That was like our third. That was our. We
No, Cape
had
Town was
one
our
at home.
first one.
Our first one in under 11 was at home. Then we
I
went
don't
to
think I
Cape Town.
played that one.
Jason definitely played that one.
No, Jason
So we
played that
played
one. I didn't
one at
play.
home,
My first one was Cape Town when
Cape
we had
Town,
the
and
coach
then
that
Springs.
broke down, and then your dad had to
I
step
think his
in
name was
and
Bruce.
take
His name was
over.
Bruce. For
Oh,
the
poor
viewers
Bruce.
at home, we were a bunch of 10-year-olds or 11-year-olds
10 because it was under
playing
11.
indoor cricket in Cape Town for our province, KwaZulu Natal. And it was the first game or the second game we were getting smoked. So the score was not great. And instead of our coach being a grown man and saying, "Hey guys, it doesn't matter," or "Hey guys, play better," he decided to go into the corner and have a what seemed to be a cry to himself. Um, so And
Yeah, I
luckily enough,
was.
my dad was there, and he decided to step in and say, "Come on, guys, you can do it." We didn't win, but
No,
uh,
we didn't win.
we didn't really have a coach, though, did we?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we did once your dad took over, but before that,
Right.
shame. Bruce was there. I don't know. He tried. We'll say that
and
he
then,
tried
and
politely.
then the next year we went to uh, Springs, which is in Johannesburg or Pretoria, I don't
Yeah,
know. Um, and
Gauteng.
my dad coached us then the whole time, which is probably the only reason I was in the team. But I got a lot better in the later years. So I, I honestly believe if we managed to keep that team together, I don't think we would have ever lost a game growing up. Unfortunately, people were not interested.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with that. I mean, we had some genuinely talented cricketers, not just indoor cricketers, but outdoor cricketers. It
Right.
was actually a very, very strong team. I mean, a lot of them went on to play varsity or premier club level, hell, borderline provincial Dolphins players even. So that was definitely a very strong team. But I think at least for me, when we started getting older, such as the more under 18s and the under 21s and opens, a lot of people lost interest, and action cricket kind of turned into a purely sport for drinking in SA, or at least in Durban. And it was just a bunch of angry truck drivers that wanted to box every time you played, and they were
I
just
did get
angry that
boxed.
a
Yeah.
bunch of kids were whipping their asses, so then they'd get drunk and try fist
Yeah.
fight kids. Like, I mean, really?
Yeah. No, you know what it was when when we were growing up, there was so much interest in it. Like even they had Lumo cricket, which is what they would do is they would replace all of the lights indoors with black lights, and they would use a tennis ball. So you could essentially play in the dark, and everything was glowing. So the stumps were glowing, your bat was glowing, your gloves, the ball, but nothing else. And they used to do that every Friday night. They used to have at least 3 games on, and there was a lot of interest. But then I think it got too expensive. Electricity for the main thing. It was so expensive to run the electricity of that place. Um, so I think that's the main reason people dropped out. But there was also no support from like the
Anything.
government. Like if we um, Jason captained South Africa and he didn't get any colors or anything for it at high school because it's not a recognized sport. So that's just crazy. But I was thinking about the team because we had like everything there. We had the big hitters in Javier, Byron, Carl, Daniel. We had the precision players, yourself, Bevan, Cameron, Jason, even. Bowling wise, we had some heat, even
Yeah, it's
back in the
proper
day.
heat. So
Yeah.
that was actually some scary heat for that age group. No, it's
Brendan
even.
was good as well. He was obviously younger than us, so that's why he was benched with me most of the time. um, but hey, I came up when I don't know if I ever told you about under 23s in Cape Town.
No, I think during under 23s I was studying in Pretoria still.
Yes, you were. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gary and I played with it was Wayne, um, and I don't think you know the other guys. Dale was there as well. Dale Kinsey.
Okay.
Um,
I know Dale. About it.
no, I started bowling spin by then, um, and I was number one in the stats the whole tournament. Um, I was virtually unplayable. They had those green burleys, and I was just whipping that thing, and no one could hit it. And then we had initiation the one night, and then we went out afterwards. And I swear, I swear I got food poisoning, but it might have been something else that poisoned me.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely poisoning of sorts.
and then the next day we played Northern Gauteng, and they had a bunch of spinners. and my bowling went for 16, and I scored 1 run. So I had a negative 15 game, and that dropped me down to 20th. So I was number one up for like 8 games. I was in the number one spot, holding it by far, and then just dropped straight down. And I think I made it back to 12 or 13. So I didn't get any certificate, got nothing for it, which was a bit annoying. I won't lie. Um,
Yeah, no,
but yeah.
that can be frustrating. Well, I feel like I was also frustrated when they had the team that went to Australia. And you remember my
Hmm.
brother went, Jason, captain that team,
Yes.
and I still grinds my gears that they chose the coach's youngest son that sat bench the whole time, didn't play a damn game in Australia.
Um,
And I didn't get picked. I was all the way through all the training camps, and then they were like, sorry, we're taking him, the coach's
yeah.
kid who was two
Logistically, it
ages
makes sense.
below.
Logistically, it makes sense. Because you go into
Mm.
Australia, you may as well take your son with you rather than leaving your son at home.
I mean,
And you were gonna,
he came back. It's not like
you
they
were
went
probably
there
gonna sit on
forever.
the bench. You were probably gonna sit on the bench the whole time anyway.
It's fine. I could have at least sent him into Australia. Damn it. I would have taken it.
That was crazy. And also, we were 14, and they made us play against the under 19s
Yeah.
for the trials. I had
Yeah.
no shot. I hadn't. I went in there, and the first we played against Eastern Gauteng first,
He's
and
yeah.
Junior Dalla came in, and they said, "Oh, Terence, go open the batting." I'm like, "Okay." First ball past my head. It's probably a half volley, but I was short back then, so
It was kind of par for the
yeah,
course when you were batting. You just got bounced all the time.
I did.
Nothing new there.
Um, I remember we used to bat together quite often for the people at home.
Pretty much all the
And this one
time. I was your designated batting partner.
yes, yeah. This one game we played against Central Gauteng and
Under 15s.
under 15s, yeah. And the opening or closing bowler for the time, he ran in and he bowled a short one at me, and I looked up and I claim that I moved out the way and it swung into me. I probably moved into it. Thinking back now, it
Yeah,
hit me
headbutted
here.
it straight.
It hit me here. I went down. I was like, okay, fine, fine, whatever. I'm okay. I took my stance. As I look up, he's already let go of the ball. Hits me square in the head here. That was it. But we ended up scoring like 35, thanks to you. But
I mean, the
it
ump did cuck out the bowler as well.
yeah,
It was a little bit funny.
and gave him a no ball for that as well. So
It was a
oh,
bit funny. Oh, not good times.
yeah, it was good
Oh,
times.
such good times.
And then afterwards,
Ah,
when we were older and we were able to drink, we would go and play and get drunk and play silly games. And then they shut down the building, and that leaves us where we are now.
yeah, little beer bellies and everything.
Exactly.
It's the kids, it's the dad bods. It's definitely not from all the drinking we did.
No, no, we didn't drink at all.
No, water. We stayed hydrated, I think, most of the time.
Yeah, it's just fermented with yeast and hops.
Slightly dirty water.
Yeah,
We should have checked the well first.
yeah,
There's
exactly. Yeah.
little there's many little wells. There were too many of them. We had to keep getting rid of them as well. They made quite a mess. Started piling up.
Vince, what happened with your outdoor cricket? Um, you were playing Premier League. Your
Yeah,
brother
so I
was
was playing
captain.
Premier League. Hey, you played a little bit with us at UKZN before you ran
I
away.
did. I did. Yes.
But yeah, so I was playing with my brother, playing with a couple other brothers. It was quite cool in that team. If you remember the other brothers that we played with. So it was two sets of brothers playing in one team. And we actually had like a really decent team. Again, playing for one of the biggest varsities in the country, and you get zero support from them, and you're having to have the thing that they gave us like 200 rand to feed 15 people. I remember. I know you remember those times where they'd be like, "Here's 200 bucks. This is your lunch allowance for
Chicken
15."
fillets and rolls.
Yeah. So I mean, look, we made the best of it. Beggars can't be choosers. But you'd
What is
think,
200 rand in euros or dollars?
give us that out
Uh,
quick.
why is it not showing up? There it is. 10
Technical
euros.
difficulty. Can you feed 15 people with 10 euros?
You can't feed one person with 10 euros.
Exactly. So yeah, but I mean, hey, we made the best of it. But it was always just frustrating because I had studied at University of Pretoria for 2 years, and I'd
Mhm.
seen how things have run or can be run, and then you come
And
back
if you
to,
played for them, you might have got somewhere in cricket.
I mean, potentially, I was playing at the with the twos there, the second team for a bit, or training rather. But there it was hectic. Like you're training every day of the week. You're there 6 o'clock doing sessions. Then you go to lectures, and it tucks. The lectures are hard because you do like 8 modules a semester. So you're there at 7:30. You're done at 4:35. Then you go straight to your sports, and then somehow you're gonna go home and study. So it got a bit too much, and I wasn't on any bursaries or anything at Pretoria. So obviously I had to focus on the studies, what I was actually paying for. So I stopped playing the cricket there. But
Yeah.
then when I came back to UKZN on a full bursary, kind of had to play because otherwise I'd lose the bursary.
Yeah. But you guys did quite well,
Yeah, we did
I
quite
think.
well.
Yeah.
I mean, we got a couple Proteas that came through. Senior and Munsami. He played for a long time with us at UKZN. Went on to go represent the
Keshav?
Proteas in India.
Keshav?
No, Keshav wasn't with us. I think he might have been a bit before.
Oh. Yeah, I remember
But yeah,
seeing scoring. Did he score a century in Durban? Or was that for the Dolphins?
that was for the Dolphins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was
I
for the
remember seeing
Dolphins.
that when I was there.
But
Yeah.
yeah, lots of strong talent. I mean, the varsities had a bunch of old. I mean, Sean Pollock, Chauncey Rhodes. Those are all the kinds of names that have come through UKZN cricket. Maybe not
Mhm.
stayed there for long, but they all started there. Ethan Bosch playing for the Dolphins was at UKZN when he was fresh out of school, and he's been doing quite well for himself. A couple other smaller players playing in the new format because I don't know if you've seen in South Africa now the domestic league is now 12 teams. It's no longer just the main provinces. So the
Okay.
provinces are now split. So like there always used to be inland and coastals. So now they actually play that as the tournament now. It's no longer the Dolphins, the Lions. They've actually been broken into their subgroups to create more opportunity for more players, which is quite cool.
Okay. It is, yeah. It is because it does. Let's not get political. I was going to ask about the quota system.
We'll
Let's
hit
let's not
skip.
go. But yeah, it was fun because what so I played for the seconds while I was there, um, and our games would generally finish a lot quicker than yours would, um, either because we completely smashed them, whoever we played against, or you guys started later or something. I can't remember what the reason was. The only time was maybe against Crusaders because that those games generally went on quite long,
Yeah,
uh, as you can imagine. Um, but yeah, then we would finish up our game, and then we would come down to you guys. Cameron would generally be on the bra, um, have a
Master
final
Cam.
meeting as well, and we would go to the driving range a couple times. I don't know if that was just us or if you were there.
No, I was
Um,
there often. Yeah,
yeah, because we used to play across the road from the driving range, and then the driving range had a bar, so
good old
easy.
V4.
Yeah, that
Yeah, and
was
I
that
must say
feels.
that's another field that used to be used by the Dolphins. So both Hammond and V4 used to be used as interprovincial level fields, but again, because UKZN just turned a blind eye to its sport, really focused on
Mhm.
academics, which I mean, it's fair, but at the same time, when you have the kind of facilities they have, to just let it go to waste like that is a bit annoying. Although, in fairness,
So also the covers always get stolen. So how do you solve something like that?
yeah, I mean, just throw more money at it, I guess. We pay so much to study there anyway. But yeah, no, it
Yeah.
is a bit of a tough situation there. Because I mean, now the cricket club isn't in Prem anymore. Um, they dropped to second div, and they're not even doing well in second div. They're not going to get relegated, from what I've heard and seen, but they're also not winning all their games. So I've been full cycle with the cricket club, where when I joined, they just got promoted into Prem. So I've been through where they struggled, been through where we beat Crusaders, the number one club in the province. You know, I think we actually finished like second on the log that year, and then I've gone through the trough as well, where everyone leaves. Everyone gets out of varsity, everyone moves on. People stop playing at the Dolphins, stop playing club cricket altogether in most cases. So yeah, I've been full cycle there, and so it's often a bit sad as well to see how things go from where you used to have so much pride and joy in something, and then all of a sudden, I mean, 5 years down the line, and it's absolutely just gone. But again, because no support from the varsity itself, it was strictly all of us students. So I was the chairman of the club for a bit. Cam was the chairman of the club for a bit. And again, it's good because it creates a sense of pride with you as the players being in charge of it. But at the same time, when you're not getting any funding, any assistance really from the people above who actually have the say, whether you can or can't do certain things, you lose interest, and then no one wants to play with it or play with the club anymore. So I think that's what's happened now. It's where I mean, we even tried to, so obviously being chairman, we are then involved in trying to recruit. And like we
Right.
actually have, I think we were given 4 bursaries. We were literally given 4 bursaries to go and give to potential first team cricketers from all the schools in KZN. Not one kid wanted to study at UKZN.
Oh,
And
that's actually sad.
literally, yeah. So like they turned down studying for free at tertiary level because they just didn't want to go to UKZN, which is a bit sad. Like, don't get me wrong, I can agree. Like, varsity life at your Tux, your UCT, your Stellenbosch, incomparable. But
And
at the
also
end of
all
the
of your
day,
oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But I mean, at the end of the day, you still get the degree. The thing that arguably matters, although at the same time, the life skills you learn through the varsity life and those different environments is probably actually a little bit better. You get some more real world skills. You don't just get a piece of paper that you can hang up on your wall.
But as an
Which
18-year-old, you're not thinking about that.
no, you don't give two rats bottoms about that piece of
You're just
paper. You
worried
want to go where all your friends
where,
are.
where all your friends are, where all the hottest girls are going to be.
Yeah,
uh, but is it not something that trickles down from the top? Because I remember when I was younger, we used to go to Kings Park like every other weekend. There was cricket on, there was a test match on, and like you would go and you would spend the whole day, a whole Sunday, a whole at the stadium. And now, especially when we just left school, no one was going to the stadium. Like they were struggling to sell tickets.
I think that could be a very good point where I think it's quite valid. Where yeah, the interest starts at the top and then it trickles down. Where I think a lot of people have gotten over CSA and its structures,
Mm.
and now all the other leagues that I know you've played in a couple. Last Man Standing, the Rebel League, all these other Winter League, all these other leagues that are coming up where it's gone back to more about the passion in the cricket, where it's people that just want to play cricket. They're not worried about all
moving up
the
the ranks.
yeah, moving up the ranks, all the drama involved. They just want to play cricket on a Sunday, have a jaw with their friends, do what they want, rent out a school ground, because I know that's what a lot of the schools are doing now, like Kloof Hire out by me. They rent out
Oh,
their ground on the Sundays for, I don't know which, it must be Winter League at the moment, but I think that's also where a lot of the cricketers that used to be playing club or traditional club cricket have all moved
yeah,
into that rather.
yeah. It is. It's a bit sad, but I guess we're too old to worry about it now.
Yeah. I mean, I still have my cricket kit, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know if I'll get anything if I sell it, but I don't want to get rid of it either. I'm never going to use it, but it's one of those weird things,
Well,
like
you'll be happy to know. Well, I don't know if it's still in use, but I gave a bunch of my stuff to my cousin, and in that stuff was the DP mat that you gave me.
is that still alive? Oh my gosh.
That's
That
still
was my
alive, and he
favorite
was
bat.
using it for quite a while. He was captain of Athol Hearts, and now he's captain of under what's the grade eights under
14.
13, under
14.
14,
13 is grade 7.
under 14A at Wessel Boys.
Okay, shit.
Opening batsman.
Hopefully you're not still using that DP.
Hopefully not, but you never know. It might still be in his bag.
I'm just trying to work out the age. I got that in 2009.
Wow.
So that's still alive and going. That is amazing points towards DP, which is a South African brand. I think they're out of the Cape.
15 15 years, and it was used pretty much every weekend.
Good quality English ruler, that my guys. That's buy DP, guys. Buy DP. DP, give me some kit. I'll stop playing
Do
cricket
they
again.
make it?
Yeah,
Cool. So, I'm going to ask you a very serious question. Now I'm switching here. Okay.
shoot.
And this could kind of feed into your next point as well. But to you, over the last few months, even before your child was born, what did it mean to be a dad? Now, before you answer this question, I know that our answers might be slightly different because our relationship with our fathers is slightly different. My relationship with my father and your relationship with your father, obviously, not.
Yeah.
not
Then again, I do have a
um,
relationship with your father as well, though.
so, what does it mean to be a dad from your perspective? Not a father, a dad.
Yeah. I think, yeah, that's always one of those fun topics where you think, you always read about these romanticized versions of what it is, or what it should be, especially with social media now. Everyone's like,
Definitely
oh,
what.
dad has to be this and this and this, and you got to tick all these boxes up, or else you're a failure. And you're like, God damn, are these people actually live a life? Are these people saying these things actually parents? Do they realize how hard it is out there? Like, as much as you want to bend over backwards and provide everything, sometimes you have to draw a line in the sand and be like, Ish, sorry, we can't do that this weekend, or we can't buy that this weekend. But obviously, I think point one is provider, because that's all you got to be, whether it's providing, obviously, a roof. I think that's always a traditional sense of what the father, I guess that's not going to father, not so much dad,
That's fine. Yeah.
where I think for to be a dad is, again, still a provider, but more on the emotional and the one-on-one thing, where I'm not worried about the money. I'm not worried about a roof or the big Audi I'm driving. That to me is more of what you'd consider your father, or what a father should be. I think that for me, being a dad is more being on the emotional level of things,
Okay.
being actually there, being your child's friend as much as you are there. their guidance, their authoritative figure. I think it's important to actually have a friendship with them as well, because I think that's something that maybe gets blurred. Often people get so focused on trying to make them the right way and get their kid to not do what they did, that they forget that they're your best friend and you're potentially
Yeah.
going to.
Or on the other hand, they try to get you to do things that they were never able to. So they live vicariously through the child, and it does get, because I mean, you're in the prime example right now where up until this point you've had yourself to focus on. You've built up yourself. You've built up your future. You've built up opportunities that you can take advantage of. Okay, but now you have to do all of that for someone else. And even if they don't want to, you've got to kind of put those things in place. So, being a father, yes, definitely providing, making sure they're safe, all of those things that anyone can do with money specifically. Um,
Yeah.
but being a dad, I think, is the someone that they can go to for advice, someone that they feel comfortable with, someone that they feel safe with. Um, in today's world, especially, if it's very hard to know which man is safe to be around. It's hard for, especially for women, but also for kids and stuff. How do you trust a man? Whereas a dad needs to be that one male figure that you can trust. Because you can always go to your mom for emotional support, but for advice, I think that's where the dad comes in. Um, so I think we kind of on the same page there. Um,
Yeah. Although I think dads can also be there for the emotional support. I think that's also maybe a how do I say, a stereotype.
definitely.
It's always the mom is the one for all the gooey stuff and the emotional support, and the dad's there for the fun times and all that. So I think that's also something that's, I think a lot of dads should not be afraid of getting into. I know it's hard to say. I've got a 3-month old. What emotional support does she need? Just give her a bottle of milk and hey, she's happy. But I think it's also, yeah, it's definitely something that I think a lot of people do shy away from because of maybe their relationship with their dads, where they were always seen as the rock with no emotion, who's the pillar, and you don't go to him with problems. You just, if you need, like you say, if you need advice, there you go. If you need to be sobby, you stubbed your toe, go to mom.
No, you're definitely right in that sense. I think especially now the world's changing. Millennials are becoming fathers, and I think millennials are, in the nicest sense of the term, softer. So perhaps our children are going to be more loved.
We can only try.
We can only try. We can only put our hearts and soul into showing them that they are loved. Um, and yeah, I try to do that every day. I try because I know with work I get stressed and I get busy, and after work I just want to like sit and mindlessly scroll TikTok. Um, but I often have to remind myself that there's two other people that haven't seen me all day. So I put the TikTok away. Luckily, I do put them to sleep every night. So I tuck them in, read them a story sometimes. I sit by them for a bit. Then I generally sit outside the room and I wait until they're asleep. And during that time, I scroll through TikTok or I play Call of Duty on my phone. Um, and yeah, it's a transition period. But at least before then, we've had that interaction before they go to sleep, which is quite nice.
Yeah, and I think that's always quite important. I know. So with my work, uh, we have a coaching manager. We do a lot of that sort of stuff as well, where it's helping us transition, especially with being medical reps. It's in essence door-to-door sales. You're dealing with all kinds of people, good, happy, sad, angry. you are often the punching bag, and it's you often get into that trap of doom scrolling, as the popular term for scrolling through Instagram or TikTok all day, the doom scrolling. And it's just to remain vigilant and, like you've done, be cognizant of the idea that there are other people around you. As much as you want to have your time, your recharge isn't actually going to be much of a recharge when you're scrolling through Instagram or TikTok. That's just a distraction. It's not
It is a
actually
distraction.
revitalizing yourself. It's just to distract me from my stress. Let me see everyone else's problems or holidays that I'm jealous of, instead of
I can't
actually.
stand Instagram. I cannot stand Instagram. I've got it, but I can't. Like, everyone is so fake.
Oh, okay, from that point. Okay, no, that's.
Yeah, it's always they're always posting the nicest things, which makes sense. You're not going to post the terrible things.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not
Um,
gonna post my dustbin,
exactly.
but that's a point. But that's a point of view thing where you're gonna use Instagram as your highlights reel. Think of it that way. You're just posting the highlights so that you can look back in 20 years. Gosh, I remember that holiday, or remember
All right, right, yeah.
that
So
where
you use your own highlights. I'm saying, like, if you're scrolling through Instagram
oh yeah,
and
yeah,
you
other people, yeah.
other people posting a holiday that they went on 2 years ago, they're still posting it as if they're still there.
Okay, that's different. So then I actually quite like Instagram, but I still have Facebook, but I despise Facebook with a passion.
Do you
I
still
guess it's
use
also
Facebook?
why I'm not on. Sorry?
Do you use Facebook at all?
No. It's still
Same.
linked to my Instagram, so when I post
Okay.
on Instagram it'll put it on Facebook, but it is just so I only ever see like the same five random people who I don't ever speak to. I don't know them, but somehow those are the only five people on my feed, which I don't understand. And it's always like these strangely opinionated people who are like, in my opinion, just dumb.
I think you've seen the same five people because those are the only five that are actually still using Facebook.
That's probably the most accurate thing, because if I'm honest, I don't actually know many people who are actively using Facebook. I think most of them are in a similar situation like me, where it's you'll post on Instagram and then because it's now owned by Meta, the two of them, if I'm correct. So it's automatically linked. So just post it there. Otherwise, yeah, I don't really know anyone that's other than using it for birthday reminders. That's a lifesaver. Instagram needs that feature. I need birthday reminders on Instagram rather.
um, the you know what the craziest thing is? So many people are still spending money on ads on Facebook. Meta is still the second most spent advertising platform. So Google, Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram, and then YouTube, and then TikTok. Um, like, who's clicking on the ads? Who on Facebook is clicking on ads?
Old people.
It must be old people.
I'm gonna make a bold statement and say it's people over 35, because most
I'm gonna
people
make
over.
even. I'm gonna make an even bolder statement. Mark Zuckerberg has um, created an AI that clicks on ads so that people keep spending because these bots are clicking on ads.
I mean, so that's actually an interesting point now. How AI is gonna take over the bot market,
Yeah.
because I'm sure you've seen those Asian and Taiwanese follower farms
Yes, I
where it's
have.
a
Yeah.
container with literal thousands of phones. There are
And they're
literally
scrolling.
people,
They're scrolling through Reels and TikTok. Yeah.
yeah, and then they're with a
And
laptop
they
and
like every single video.
like, bloody hell. I swear that's how a lot of people start. So maybe you need to do some pricing on that and get some clicks and follows for us. I don't know. But genuinely, I think that's how a lot of people started their Instagram when Instagram was still its own platform and they were trying to gain traction. And then all of a sudden, that overnight from like 200 followers to 10,000, and you're like, but you haven't posted anything interesting. Why do you suddenly have? And
No,
then,
they definitely bought
yeah,
followers.
yeah, and then
Um,
you hear a couple days later, oh, I spent 1,000 rand on followers. What?
yeah, you can often tell by the engagement. So you'll see that they'll post they'll have, let's say, 20,000 followers, and then they'll post a video and it will get 20 views, and then oh, because they bought their followers.
And they stopped paying, so they're not getting,
Yeah,
they're not on the algorithm or the AI anymore, so they've been kicked out. It's actually scary. Like how going back to your point of how fake everything can be.
yeah,
Like how desperate are people for other people's uh, validation? I guess that's the
attention.
trap, though. Yeah, attention and validation. I think that's the whole social media trap, though.
I know this wasn't on the agenda, but the I'm just thinking if we should keep it for the next one. No, let's talk about the Australian breakdancer, the lady. I've seen footage of her, which is actually pretty good. And apparently, she made a statement that she did something to get everyone's attention. Now, from her perspective, she's going to the Olympics. She knows she's not going to win. Okay. So she does something completely crazy to get attention. She went on Jimmy Fallon or something the other night. She was on a talk show.
Already, it
Isn't
like
that just
it just
isn't
happened.
that the smartest thing? It's the smartest thing. It might have been an Australian version, but it was definitely a talk show that she was definitely on it. Um, and it's I saw a stand-up comedian say, imagine training your whole life. You decide, I'm going to be a sprinter. Your whole life you train. You get selected 4 years, you train your hardest. You're running your personal best. You pull up at the 200-meter line at the Olympics, lane 4, and you look at lane 5 and you see Usain Bolt. You're not catching him. You're not winning. You have no chance. So what do? When the gun goes off, you run the opposite direction. They'll be forced to interview you. They'll say, Why did you run the other direction?" And then you say, "Well, when a gun goes off in my country, we run the other way." And then you make a name for yourself because that's probably what she was thinking. She has no chance of winning. Why doesn't she go and make a name for herself? It's not a great name, but she can get a couple followers on Instagram, get a brand deal, make a couple grand.
I mean, she's definitely gonna get a TV ad somewhere for some brand for something that's gonna make
Definitely.
absolute rip
Yeah.
a spoof of something that's serious and get her to do it. I mean, yeah, that is one of those risks, eh? Like you just roll the dice, play the wildest card. I think trying to call a bluff with a pair of twos or something, and you just like, yeah, bring it, and then
Yeah.
hope that they fold before you actually have to play your cards.
Yeah. You just farm attention, which, I mean, that's what we're doing.
Trying to.
Trying to, but it's only episode 3. I was looking at I think the most popular podcast at the moment is Shits and Gigs. So James and Fuhad, you've probably seen them. I've sent you a couple of videos of this.
Yeah,
They're on episode 400 at the moment. So, and they do a weekly podcast. They blew up maybe a year ago.
yeah.
So they were doing it for a while before they blew up, and they blew up because of clips on TikTok. So there's no rush for us. I think staying
We're having
consistent is,
fun.
and when I do eventually get time, we can start putting clips on on TikTok. Um,
But
yeah,
no, I think the main thing is also just to have fun with it. I think that's also the main purpose of this as well. As much as it'd be really nice to make some money.
just to catch up with you, really. That's
Yeah,
all.
exactly. I mean,
That's,
even what's so I don't know how much you watch tech stuff, but there's that one big YouTube that's quite big for computer stuff. Linus Tech Tips.
yes,
Okay, look, they where because I watched a video of how he bought it for like $1 off of his previous store that he used to work for. So the
yes.
owner of the store told him, "Yeah, make some YouTube content back in whenever," and then it wasn't doing so hot. So then Linus was like, "You know what? I enjoy this. I want to carry on. Can I take it over?" And then all this time later, now they've got massive warehouses and massive branding deals. I mean, I'd love to get into some tech branded deals because your graphics cards and stuff are damn expensive at the moment. Well, actually, not at the moment. They just
I think I
for the
saw
longest.
somewhere that he has like he was getting a server and it was like a petabyte server that or something that only Google has or only Microsoft has, and he got one. I can't
Yeah,
remember the details; it's a bit foggy, but he got something special like that, which was massive. Because I know he's got so much um,
tech.
he's got so much content that they put out, so it's crazy.
Yeah, and obviously they get in flack for it because some of it's if they make one little mistake somewhere or one piece of tech that they review goes bad, then they get blamed for it, even though it's not their brand. They were just if in their review that one unit was the one working unit out of the 1 million made, it's not an honest review because their
Yeah,
unit worked. So I've seen one or
yeah.
two of their videos where
That one that you're speaking about, they should have tested it properly. They should have stressed it.
yeah.
I think they were being lazy, but now they've made a U-turn now. I know that they test things properly now, so we'll see how it
Well,
goes.
they had to because I think it goes to that where they used to do it all very, very, very thoroughly, and then they started trying to push out too much content, and then the
Hmm.
thoroughness of the test started kind of falling off because they needed to
Keep
pump
up.
out because I think they were doing like daily new content daily or even twice a day at a
Mm.
stage on their different platforms, and I think that's where they started maybe the ship started kind of going the other way. Then all the shit hit the fan, and that I've slowed down a bit, and it's seemingly going back to the incline that we all strive for
Yeah.
one day.
Well, anyway, that'll be us one day. Hopefully, without the decline. Um, Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to subscribe and like and do all of those things. It will be all in the description. Venzel, anything else you want to say?
I think that's all. Have another great week and enjoy the warmth because you always complain about it raining. So don't complain about the warmth.
Cool. Same time next week. Make sure to subscribe. Bye.